We're going to end things today with a look at our forecast. Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher is here in studio. Al, hasn't felt too bad out there for a week in January. What can we expect for the days ahead?
Well, Troy, we did see some very nice conditions earlier in the week, and unfortunately we've seen the very cold air start to move in as a very strong system moved into the northern plains, and that originated out in the Gulf of Alaska, and that energy come over top of the Rocky Mountains and exploded as it got into the north central plains, and we've seen the very strong winds. I would consider Thursday more of a one hairspray can day, and definitely yesterday was a 2 hair can spray day, and I don't even know if that would have been enough to keep the hair in place with the amount of wind we've seen, and unfortunately some very significant blowing and drifting snow, particularly across extreme eastern Nebraska and most of Iowa. We do see a little bit of a break here over this next week, but another pending storm system later next week needs to be watched very carefully for the potential for once again to see some significant accumulating snows across the central plains. So as we go to the upper air models, basically here is the low that came through so during this last couple days. We have another wave that is coming down from this northerly flow, and it is expected to strengthen rapidly as it moves to the east of us. Low pressure over western Kansas basically will allow some moisture return, but the main system to the east of us is robbing a lot of that moisture. So we're going to be dealing with more clouds, but you can see as we get into tomorrow, that system really starts to strengthen as it gets over Illinois and eastern Iowa. We have cold high pressure moving in behind us, so we're going to be rather cool, more seasonable, basically in the 30s this weekend, but we won't have to deal with the heavy fog like we did last weekend. Not looking much in the way of precipitation. Now we get a little bit of a break on Monday as another trough starts to approach us from the northwest. That's going to allow some warm air to move into the region, so we should maybe rebound back at the upper 30s to the mid 40s as low pressure takes shape over eastern South Dakota at the surface. See some precipitation in the form of snowfall to the west of us, and then some of that energy drops to the southwest of us, and the main cold air moves to the east. So we're going to be caught between these systems. So high pressure will be weak high pressure firmly in control over our region. There may be a scattering of flurry activity, but the most significant precipitation will remain to our south. Now as we get into the day on Wednesday, we'll see some of that energy trying to move toward the northeast from that low in the southwest, and then the northern stream will start to try to push some colder into our region. Low pressure sets up in southwestern portions of Kansas, starts to lift moisture out into eastern Texas, and that will only increase as the week progresses. So the northern stream energy moves over to the Great Lakes. That low starts to make its way toward western Texas. Start to see surface low development on Thursday over the Texas Panhandle and south central Oklahoma. That will start to lift moisture up into the region. We'll start to see some pretty significant snowfall across the southern Rockies, and some of that pushing up into northern Kansas, southern Nebraska, particularly as we get into the day on Friday, as the system itself really starts to dig a very deep trough and gets very well organized with low pressure over the Great Basin. That's going to lead to some significant moisture across the central plains. This is likely to change as we can progress into the future, but be aware that a very potent system may develop as we get to the end of next week. And more of it will be in store as we get into the following week. 8 to 14 day forecast indicates from next Thursday to the following Tuesday that cold air will rush in. We'll start to see many systems moving through the central and southern plains, and in terms of precipitation, with the troughiness and all those waves moving through, expect above normal moisture, especially if that system itself develops. So Troy, overall, looks like calm weather until we get into next weekend.